Now, millions of U.S. voters are voting to determine whether Vice President Kamala Harris or former President Donald Trump will lead the nation. Both candidates require at least 270 electoral votes to secure victory, with 7 battleground states, including Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Nevada, playing crucial roles in the election outcome. VOA's congressional correspondent Catherine Gypson joins us via Skype with details of the U.S. elections so far. Hi, Catherine. Thanks for joining us. Polls opened today. What's the general observation of the process so far?
American voters are allowed to mail in their ballots, and we're seeing record numbers of those across the nation. So I expect to see a lot of turnout today when those polls finally close in about 8 hours.
You spoke about mail-in ballots. How do you see the impact of early voting and mail-in ballots on overall voter participation?
Well, I think it's going to be important to understand ballots are going to be counted first. And so we may see some of the results shift as the states bring in their different counts. Remember, all of the states across this nation vote in different ways. They have different local election laws and procedures. So not all of the results come out at the same time, as anxious as we are for a final result here in the United States.
Right. What factors will influence voter turnout?
Well, I think we already know that women are going to be key in this election this year. There's been a lot of discussion about the legality of abortion being overturned at the national level and sent back to the states. Many women across this country are very worried about their reproductive rights and worried that if former President Donald Trump is reelected, that there could be even more infringement upon their rights. On the other hand, Trump's supporters are very concerned about undocumented immigrants coming over our borders. They say that the Biden-Harris administration has not done enough to address those issues. So it'll be really interesting to see how those play out. And of course, the economy is always a key election issue. Many voters here in this country worried about how our economy is still coming out of that post-COVID slump. So it'll be a battle between all of those top issues in the minds of American voters.
Right. Catherine, generally, when are elections or polls supposed to close, and when does counting commence?
Great question. So here on the East Coast of the United States, they close at either 7 or 8 p.m., which means we still have about 7 to 8 hours of voting left here in the United States on the East Coast. And then, of course, because the United States is so large, we have 4 different time zones. So it goes even further into the night once you're getting those results from the West Coast. Nevada is an important state that could be very key in determining control of the presidency and control of the U.S. Senate. They won't be closing until late East Coast time tonight. So that's just when the polls close. When they finish counting the ballots, if it's a very close race on the state level, that could go into tomorrow and into this week, frankly.
Thank you very much, Catherine, for talking to us. We appreciate it, and we'll definitely come back to you for updates on the American elections. Catherine Gypson is VOA's congressional correspondent.